The transfer portal continues to heat up. New reports today that none other than J.T. Daniels himself is expected to enter the transfer portal. So how good is J.T. Daniels, and where are potential landing spots for him? Stay tuned and I'll tell you what I think. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos. I'm coming to you once again from the hills of wild and wonderful Almost Heaven, West Virginia. This is Coos' Corner. I'm serving up college football and college basketball content almost every single day. If that's what you like, then this is the channel for you. Please hit the red subscribe button. It's free. Please give me the thumbs up if you like this here video. Tell your friends and family about me, especially if they like college sports. Please check out the links in the description box to the Coast to Coast CFB network, and to all the ways that you can support my channel through Patreon, through Amazon links, through the Fanatics link, all the above. Now let's get on with the show. Pro Football Focus and several other media outlets are reporting that J.T. Daniels is expected to enter the transfer portal at the end of the spring semester. He's expected to stay enrolled at Georgia, and graduate, which would make him a grad transfer. And correct me, Georgia fans, if I'm wrong, but I think he would only have 1 year of eligibility left and would be able to play immediately because he is a grad transfer, even though he's transferred once already. So how good is J.T. Daniels? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about his career path that he's taken. And then near the end, I'm going to give you 4 potential landing spots and tell you which one I think he takes or should take. J.T. Daniels, coming into the 2018 season, was a freshman at USC, was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school in California, won the starting job at USC as a true freshman. Did not put up great numbers in 2018 as a true freshman, and we all know that true freshmen do not typically set the world on fire statistically. His stats for that season were 216 out of 363 passing, 59.5% completion percentage, 2,672 yards, 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Later at the end of that season, J.T. Daniels made the decision to transfer to Georgia and play for Kirby Smart. Daniels was still recovering from his ACL injury, so he was not the starter immediately at Georgia, but he did come in the last 4 games of the 2020 season and absolutely tear it up. He had the highest quarterback rating of any quarterback in the country the last 4 games of the 2020 season. And in 2021, once again, it was in the preseason Heisman conversation, was expected to come in once again and just put up great numbers for Georgia. He started the season out, was playing really well. Once again, went down with another injury. So just one injury after another for J.T. Daniels has really derailed his career. He's had some really bad luck. He's had a couple upper body injuries, plus the ACL injury. But in the 9 games he has played at Georgia, he's put up really good numbers. And here they are. He's 148 out of 213 passing, which is 69% completion, 1,953 yards, 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And Georgia doesn't run the exact type of air raid system that Graham Harrell does, but it's similar. Jeff Monken is an air raid disciple, but he is more of a run first guy, whereas Graham Harrell is more of a pass first guy. And we all know we've all seen Georgia play. We know how they like to run their offense. They like to run the ball. So Monken's kind of put his own twist on the air raid. It's more of a pro style with air raid principles. So I wouldn't call it a true air raid, but Daniels, probably would have flourished in that offense had he stayed healthy. Well, we all know the story there. Stetson Bennett took over the starting job, ended up finishing out the season, winning the national championship. We don't know whether or not Stetson Bennett's coming back, but there are several other quarterbacks in that quarterback room at Georgia that are expected that have really high expectations. They have another young stud coming in from high school this year. So it's going to be a really deep room. So J.T. Daniels, from what reports are saying, has made the decision to finish out his career somewhere else. Well, now I'm going to give you 4 schools that I think are good potential landing spots for J.T. Daniels, and I'm going to tell you why. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you the one I think he should go to. Okay? The first one on my list, the University of North Carolina. Coached by Mike Brown. Mike Brown, obviously, we know he's had success in the past, won a national championship at Texas. He's a great recruiter. Been doing really well recruiting there at North Carolina. Was actually expected to compete for an ACC championship in 2021. Fell short of that. Had a disappointing season. But they did have a really good quarterback play out of Sam Howell, who's expected to be an NFL draft pick, potentially the first player taken in the draft in the first round. So they're looking for somebody to fill that role. Offensive coordinator at North Carolina, Phil Longo, another air raid guy. So does JT Daniels end up at North Carolina? Next on my list, Oklahoma Sooners. Now, I think this is probably a less likely scenario here, only because Oklahoma has already taken Dylan Gabriel from the portal. And with JT Daniels only having 1 year of eligibility, he's probably not going to want to go somewhere where he feels like he has to compete for a starting job. He will have to do that at Oklahoma. But Oklahoma is in the hunt for another quarterback. We know they've entertained Jackson Dart. He's been visiting Oklahoma. They're wanting Caleb Williams to come back. We don't think that's going to happen, but they are wanting that. So we know that Oklahoma is in the hunt for a second quarterback to compete with Dylan Gabriel for that spot. Offensive coordinator at Oklahoma is now Jeff Lebby, who just left Ole Miss. We know Ole Miss, Jeff Lebby, we know he likes to run that spread, fast-paced, up-tempo offense, which is similar to the air raid. Then you go, the third team on my list, the aforementioned Ole Miss Rebels. Lebby left Ole Miss to go to Oklahoma. Lane Kiffin, the coach at Ole Miss, brings in Charlie Weiss Jr., a coordinator who's worked for him in the past at Florida Atlantic. Very young coach, but he does have great lineage, being the son of Charlie Weiss, who used to work for the New England Patriots, and as we all know, has coached at Notre Dame and Kansas. But Charlie Weiss Jr. is another spread guy, up-tempo spread guy. So that could be an offense that Daniels could flourish in, because Daniels is known for his ability to get rid of the ball quickly. He's known for his ability to make decisions quickly, to make his reads quickly, and just to make good decisions. That's one of the things that his offensive coordinators in the past have bragged on with Daniels is his ability. He's got it right here. He's not the most mobile quarterback in the world, and he's probably not the best arm talent. He probably doesn't have the greatest arm talent in the world, but he's extremely intelligent and knows how to make his reads and to get rid of the football. And last but not least, this is a team that I think JT Daniels should pick. And why do I think that? Well, it's because I'm biased. The West Virginia Mountaineers. And here's why I think West Virginia is a perfect fit for JT Daniels. Number one, he could reunite with his old offensive coordinator, Graham Harrell. Pretty much anybody you talk to around football thinks that the air raid offense is perfect for JT Daniels because of what I said. His ability to get rid of the football quickly, which is what the air raid requires. He wasn't able to play a full season under Graham Harrell to show what he could do because of his injuries. Here's his chance to redeem himself, prove to the world how he can do and how good he is and how good of a quarterback he is, and to impress NFL scouts. The second reason I think it's a great fit, apparently West Virginia is in the hunt for a fourth quarterback. They have 3 quarterbacks in the room right now, but they're all really young. We have incoming freshman Nico Marchiol, who's expected to be a stud, but he will be a true freshman. We have Garrett Green, who's thrown very few passes at the Power 5 level and is not really a pass-first quarterback. He's more of a running quarterback. And then we have Will Crowder, who's thrown exactly 2 passes at the Power 5 level, and it was against an FCS opponent. Once again, no experience. So how good's he going to be? West Virginia opens the season with Pitt, their arch rival next year. Does West Virginia really want to go into a game against a Power 5 opponent who happens to be their arch rival with a quarterback that has no experience? That makes me nervous. I'm really happy with the quarterbacks we got in the room as far as the future goes. I think they're going to have great futures at West Virginia. But I'm really concerned about the 2022 season. And with Graham Harrell coming aboard as the offensive coordinator, the money they're paying him, the pressure that Neil Brown's under to win now, they need to make a splash, and they need to get somebody in that quarterback spot that they know they can win with. And JT Daniels has proven that he can run the air raid offense. He did it during the offseason and during one half at USC. He's run a version of it at Georgia successfully. He's got the attributes it takes to run the air raid offense. What better place to go? For West Virginia to be perfect as well, because he could play 1 year. He could use up his 1 year of eligibility, and help mentor the younger quarterbacks in the room, help bring them up. And then when he leaves, one of those guys will be ready to step up and take the mantle. I think it's a great, great scenario. I think it's a great fit, not only for JT, but also for the Mountaineers. I would love for him to end up in Morgantown. It would be real exciting. And oh, by the way, Guess who's the starting quarterback for Pitt? Guess who's expected to be the starting quarterback for Pitt in Game 1 next season? None other than Keaton Slovis. What an all-season story. Graham Harrell and JT Daniels at West Virginia going to Pittsburgh to face Keaton Slovis. The reunion of the former USC Trojans. What a story. Listen, guys, I want to know your opinions on this. Do you think JT Daniels goes into the portal? If he does, where do you think he should go? And Mountaineer fans, do you want him at West Virginia? Do you think he'd be a great fit? Look, I went back and watched some highlights of this kid before I did this video. I was really impressed. All the things that we complained about Jarrett Doege about, this kid does them. He's not the most mobile. He's more mobile than Doege was. He will leave the pocket and scramble if he has to. He knows how to slide and get down and not take a hit. He can feel the rush coming. He has a better anticipation of the rush than what Doege had. He gets rid of the football extremely quick. He goes to his progressions well. He's an extremely smart quarterback. And I just think he's perfect. I think he's perfect for this system. Let me know, Georgia fans, if you're watching this, what's your opinion of JT Daniels potentially entering the portal? And do you think he'd be a good fit with the Mountaineers? Do you think he'd fit well at West Virginia and play in the air raid system under Graham Harrell? I'd like to hear your opinion. And USC fans, if you're watching, what are your opinions of JT Daniels? What's your opinion of him playing for Graham Harrell again at West Virginia? Or do you think he should pick one of the other schools I mentioned, or is there a dark horse candidate out there that I didn't mention? Another school that's not on my list where he could potentially land. Let me know what you think in the comments. I ask again, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Please press that like button for me. Give me that little thumbs up. And heck, if you don't like what I got to say, give me the thumbs down. All that stuff helps me out. Leave comments. All that helps me out. I really appreciate you tuning into this video. Q Country Roads.